But we were trying to stay in keeping with our subject on faith. And I tell you, it's just so much that we can say about faith. It's so much. I am a living witness that if you believe God, He will do what He said. And this is scripture I'm going to read shortly. Habakkuk 2:4. The just shall live by his faith. You know, you can live under a blanket of faith. And you can just sort of believe it. But it's going to come a time in your life that you're going to have to make this thing personal. You got to live by your faith. Not your mama's faith. Not the pastor's faith. Not your daddy's faith. But you're going to have to live by your faith. There are some things coming in your life. You can believe you've been taught all your faith all your life, and we hear all of that. But it comes a time, if you keep living, that you're going to have to make it a very personal thing. In the midnight hour, when ain't nobody there to tell you to go ahead. In the midnight hour, when ain't nobody there to pat you on your back, you're going to have to learn how to trust God for yourself. Mama taught you, that was good. But you're going to have to learn to trust God for yourself. And another scripture, Mark 11:23-24, it says, "For verily I say unto you, that whoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed and cast into the sea." It didn't say climb the mountain. He said speak to it. Bless his name, just speak to it. Tell it to be moved and cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but believe that those things which he has said shall come to pass, and he shall have whatsoever he said. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, ye shall have them. When you pray, ye shall have them. And I thank God today that you can have what you say. If you believe the Lord, you can have what you say. Faith is a powerful thing in our lives. And the scripture even said, without God, without faith, it is impossible to please God. And he that comes to God must first believe that he is. You won't seek him. You won't go to him. You will, if you don't believe that he's there, that he is who he say he is, that he does exist. You got to believe that God even exists when you were trying to seek him. And I was just thinking about, you know, people saying that they want jobs. And then I had just a few instances. Cheyenne is not here. But I was thinking how even a child can have faith. That's why it's so important for us to teach our children. It's important for you to teach it. Get it in him now. And let him know that if he has faith and trust in God, that he can ask for anything. And if he believes it, the Bible says he can have what you say. And I teach that in my children. Somebody said that once. And I do. I tell them I don't have any money to leave, and now the Lord might give me some before I leave here. But today I don't have any to leave. But I hope that I can leave you a legacy of faith. Because that will get you the car that I can't buy. That'll get you the money that I can't leave. That'll get you the house that you want to move in. Oh, bless his name. Oh, bless his name. I know it will. I know it will. Because I've tried it. You know, I never tell my children to do anything that I ain't tried. I don't. You know. Now you might, I'm not condemning you. But I won't tell my children to do anything that I don't do. If I don't trust God and don't believe God, how am I going to tell you to do it? How am I going to tell you to do it? And you see me, everything happening, I'm falling out. They got to call me and start to pick me up. Get the bottle of smelling salt. I never teach my children anything that I don't live. And let me tell you, you got to live the life you sing about in your song. If the people in your house can't believe you, you need to wrap it up. Oh yes you do. You need to wrap it up. If the people that live in the house with you, when they're sitting in the audience and you can't get up and preach, you better go back.
All right now.
You better go back. But we got to live the life we sing about.
Yeah.
So many times people will tell you, honey, child, when somebody die, ain't no need you falling that, honey. Ain't no need you doing all of that. Somebody told my sister that few weeks later, months later, her husband died. And my God, they had to pick her and the daughter up nearly every Sunday. Every time the song would go forth, and they start singing on Sunday. But they done told my sister, you don't have to do all of that. You better watch these folks that tell you what you don't have to do. And they ain't gone through nothing. I ain't gone through nothing. I ain't weathered no storm. But they can tell you about the storm. But I thank God today. I want to be a witness of what I teach. I tell you that the Lord will do this and will do that. Then you need to see me letting God do it for me.
Amen.
Amen.
You need to see me letting God do it for me.
Amen.
Amen. But I was just thinking about Cheyenne. You know, every man has a measure of faith. The scripture says that every man has a measure of faith. Some people just naturally have more faith than others. Some people, as a child, has a lot of faith. And I was just thinking about my own little great-grandbaby. One day, she came to me, she said, Granny, where's your oil? Where's your oil? I said, oh, baby, it's over there in my purse somewhere. Go there and get it. She said, oh, that's all right. She stretched her hand out. Her mother was having a headache. She stretched her hand out in the name of Jesus. And she wasn't as old as Shania is right now. I'm here to tell you she wasn't as old as Shania. But that child had heard faith. She'd been taught faith. So when she thought Mama had, Granny, give me the oil. And then I guess she told her, if you ain't got the oil, that's all right. I don't need the oil. In the name of Jesus. And I want you to know, her mother said that headache left too. Yes, it did. She said it left. But I'm here to tell you that you can believe God for anything you want. But you have to do something. You have to do something. Faith has no arm. Faith ain't got no leg. No. You got to do something. You asking God for a job. Then you need to get up out of bed. You don't need to be in the bed at 10:30 with rollers still in your hair. And your house shoes on. I ain't had my cup of coffee yet. You better get up out that bed. If you ain't got no car, you better catch that bus.
Yeah. All right, Bob.
Now God will bless you, but He don't drop it out of the sky. He can if He want to. He could if He wanted to. But we got something to do. I remember Bishop Chandler Owen said the one came to him, Bishop, pray for me. I get me a job. He said, all right, sister, I'm going to pray that you get a job. But you read the want ads.
All right.
You read the want ads. And sometimes people will pray you down, but they don't want to do nothing.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got a job, and you're not talking about, I got to look at the rerun of the game before I go out here looking for a job. If there's a job out there, they're all gone by the time you get there. The old folk used to have a saying, the early bird gets the bird, the early bird gets the worm. You know what they were simply saying? The person that get up and get busy, that's the one. That's the one gets the job. But you know, so many times, people just won't sit them on everything to fall in their hand. I remember Sister Audrey, one of the members at Guthrie Church, and she was saying that, well, the person, the speaker was up, and was saying, oh, how, you know, God will make a way, and all this, and she went, amen, amen. She just went all of the witness into, yeah, He'll make a way. So this person, the speaker, said, you know, I needed a job. And one day, a knock came at the door and said, I opened the door and said it was a man standing there, said, do you want to go to work? Sister Audrey said, oh! Well, she thought he was going to say, here's you some money. She said, oh! That wasn't the answer she wanted. She wanted the man to say when he opened the door, somebody was standing there and gave me some money. But he just asked her, did she want the job? You make some money. Sometimes we want everything handed to us. But I tell you, God is a good God. And He will do what He said. And faith is a wonderful thing to have. God is so merciful and so good that God will bless people that are not even saved. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have to be saved to get a blessing from God? We got scripture. The military man wasn't saved. He didn't say he followed Jesus. And he believed him so much that he didn't even need him to go under his roof. He didn't even feel worried. And God healed his servant. So it's a wonderful thing to be saved. I mean, it's good to have faith, but we know the main thing, we want to be saved. But I'm just here to tell you that sometimes people don't have faith, but our God is so good. I mean, that don't profess to love Him. That's what I want to say. That don't profess a saved life in Him, but He will yet bless them. There are mothers that don't profess to have God in their life, but they're raising their children. Some of those mothers believe God gonna bless them to take care of those children. They may not be saved. They don't profess to belong to nobody's church, but they believe God. And I tell you, it's a wonderful thing to believe God, because if you believe Him, He can do anything. If He can put money in the fish's mouth, He can put money in your bank account. If He can feed the 5,000, surely He can feed them 2 in your house. If you believe Him, all things are possible. All things are possible. And I'm just so grateful for the amount of faith and the measure of faith that God had given me, because I want you to know in times past, sometimes it was all I had. I didn't seem to have nothing else. Didn't have all no money in the bank. Didn't have nobody coming around to encourage me. But I had a faith in God. That what I was facing, that God was able to take care of. I want you to know my son, that he needed a double lung transplant. And the Baylor transplant team kicked him to the curb. They said, we won't touch you because your kidneys are too big. But I said, God, I believe you. I believe you. He was out in his yard and he passed out in the driveway. And 2 doctors, it was a husband and wife, they were both doctors, saw him. And they got him in touch with the Dallas team. And I want you to know, God bless that young man. Get a double lung transplant. Added 10 more years to his life. But I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't give it up. I said, God, you got a way. I know you know what to do. I know you know how to do it. And not only did God give that young man 10 years of life, Pastor, no, he was right there. He received Christ. The one been telling me all my life, I'll never belong to the Church of God in Christ. But I saw God make the devil out of a lie. Bless His name. Bless His name. I bless His name. You know, the enemy will discourage you. And if your faith is not strong enough, and he'll make you take it back. He'll make you take down. When he was so sick, I knew that he was leaving. And the devil told me, he said, you don't need to keep on praying about him going to be saved and he going to accept Christ. I said, you know he died. He ain't going to get well. He ain't going to say, what you think? You might as well let it turn it loose, because it's all over. Next day or two, my son woke up. He said, Mama, do we have a pastor? I said, I have a pastor. I didn't know about the we, because he said, told me. Nobody church got it. I said, I got a pastor. I said, you know, I got Pastor Johnson. He said, call me. Honey, I got to that phone. I must have taken off there like a bear was after me. I got to that phone. I called Sister Johnson. She said, here, Pastor, be there this evening. I didn't tell him to come on. But before that, I had stood up. He was in the hospice unit in VA hospital. I stood up in that room, and I looked toward heaven, but I was talking to the devil. I told the devil that you cannot have him. I stand between him, you death, hell, and destruction. I claim his soul for God. I claim his soul for God. And then the next day, that's when he told me to call the pastor. And everybody that know my son know he was so stubborn, it wasn't nothing I could have said to nobody else if he hadn't wanted to do it. Wouldn't have been nothing, nobody. Nobody could make him do it. So I just thank God for all of his blessings. Bless that young man. Gave him 10 years when they didn't think that he would live. And I told the Lord, I said, God, you let me keep all of my children until I could give them up. You let me keep them until I could say yes. You didn't have to do it. You're God, you could take them whenever you got ready. And I told God, I can't give this one up. This is my last one, and I can't give him up. So I can't give this one up. But I believed God. And God showed up. And we like to use the term, when he showed up, he showed out. But God was there. God was in that room. And I thank God because so many other things. That's just one of the instances and one of the experiences. But there were many when I know that nobody but God could work it out. Could nobody fix it but him. And I thank God because I can say of a truth today that God is all that you let him be. I don't worry about being up there by myself. I used to think, you know, I never lived by myself. I moved out of my sister's home into my own home. And then even later in years, my husband, we were there. And the children, grandchildren were coming in and out. I never, ever been by myself. Never lived any length of time by myself. And I thought, God, I don't know how people still in this house, because sometimes when they would leave, everybody be gone just a day or two, and I knew they were coming back. You know, it was kind of a little lonely. I said, but God, what I do when I know ain't nobody coming back? Ain't nobody in here but me. I don't want you to know that I stay in that house. I don't worry about nothing. Because you see, what I know is that can't nothing happen except God permit it. Can't nobody break in that house unless God permit it. And if he let them break in there, he let them break in there, and they still don't bother me. I say sometimes, God, you know, if they just break, it'd be good if they break in while I'm gone. But anyway, if you just allow them to break in, I like for them to break in while I'm gone. Praise the Lord. Because when you face with him, you don't know what you do. But if he done already been there taking the television, taking everything out of there, that's all right. Just so he didn't take me out of that. But I thank God. And I want to share with you today that God is true to his word. That what he said he will do, he will absolutely do it. All he wants us to do is to believe him. And we can have those things whatsoever we say. If you say it and you believe it, you can have it. Because God is not short of his promise. And I want you to know some people have more faith in one area than they do in others. Well, all of us. Let me say it like that. All of us have more faith in one area of our lives than we do in others. There are some people it's easy for them to believe God is a healer, but they may have trouble believing He's a wingman. We have different levels of faith,
Right.
and we have different things in our faith. Some people have no problem believing that God can take care of them, can protect them. Other people don't have that. So we know that we have different levels of faith. But I want you to know today that God will work. He will work in your level of faith. But He wants you to believe Him, to trust Him. When it looks like ain't nothing going right, trust Him anyway. And learn how to believe in anything. Now, I believe in to fix innate objects. You know what I'm saying? I had the washing machine and quit washing. I wouldn't have told, looked at that washing machine and I told, I ain't got no money. Yes, I did. Then somebody come in and they didn't understand, you know. But you people of faith would have known what I was doing. But somebody else coming there, they thought, you know, we need to send her off now. We need to call them in with the little white jacket and let them come in. But you know, I believe God for every area in my life. I have spoke to that washing machine, and today I lie now. I've had that washing machine to start up and go to washing like it was new. I've had it happen. Now, if you ain't never happened, you can't testify to that. But I can testify to it because I had it happen. I told the Lord, I ain't got no money. I don't have no money to buy another refrigerator. I don't have no money to do this. And I've had God to let it start back up when it wasn't even working.
All right.
I believe God in every area of my life. Every area. And I've been tested in every area of my life. I never knew that I would be left here when my husband was gone. I always felt like I would go before my husband. Never felt like that I would outlive him. But we don't know what God's plan is. We don't know what God's plan is. And I don't worry today that I can't live, that I won't be taken care of. God is going to provide for me as long as I live. And sometimes we ask God, increase my faith. Now when we say that, when you look at the reality of it, unless He allows you to go through something, you won't know whether your faith is increased or not. So sometimes people, Pastor, afraid, well, I ain't going to ask Him. I ain't going to ask Him to increase my faith because I don't know what He's going to do. You don't know what He's going to do anyway. And you're going to go through some things whether you ask Him to increase your faith or not. So it'd be good to be on the safe side. You done already asked Him to increase it. So when whatever it came, whatever trials, you'd already be ready. Because you'd already ask Him to increase your faith. And I just want to ask today, before I take my seat, is there anybody today that's brave enough to ask God to increase your faith? That you're not afraid. That you're not, oh God, if I ask you to do that, you're going to do it. But if you trust God and you believe Him, is there anybody here today that's something that you're asking God to do, that you're believing in for, and you don't have quite enough faith? Is there anybody? Is there anybody? Is there anybody? I'm going to come down here.